Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this extended reading here on Patreon. Thank you so much for tuning in to this reading today. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into shuffling the energy oracle cards. Be sure to like this video either on the YouTube video or the Patreon post itself. Either place, this does help me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you. And of course, right away, we have the Victory card in the reversed position, leading us right into the masculine energy that was coming up in the first reading. Just to recap, the first reading, which, by the way, the link to that reading is in the Patreon post for reference. But as a short recap, there were two souls coming through in some kind of multi-layered connection, meaning they have a very strong, intense soul bond between them. At the higher self level, at the energetic level, they may even be twin flames, although of course only you can know for sure whether or not this is a twin flame connection. But they also have the layer of 3D interactions, conversations, communication. There is a 3D aspect to this connection as well. And I feel that in the 3D, the masculine here is feeling very hopeless. And again, I heard overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed, not by you, Divine Feminine, but by the feelings that you've been bringing up within him, as well as simultaneously overwhelmed by this spiritual awakening that has been triggered within him. I hear him saying, I feel like nothing makes sense anymore. I'm seeing the world completely differently than I did in the past. I'm beginning to question things that I thought I knew, beginning to question my own logic. And yet again, there is this energy of hopelessness, of desperately wanting something, but feeling incapable of manifesting it, of having it. And that's how I feel this masculine is feeling towards you, Divine Feminine, with Magician and the Mirror in the reverse position. He is feeling very unbalanced, but your connection has also triggered within him this awakening of his inner Divine Feminine energy, his inner emotionality, creativity, his sensitive side. And as a result of that, I feel that part of why he would describe himself as feeling unbalanced or imbalanced is because he is actually beginning to feel certain emotions that he had blocked himself off from for such a long time. For some reason, I heard something about medications. So this masculine could be on medications for his mental or physical health. With caring connections reversed and, of course, the yin yang card coming out here. This card is giving me chills all over because of the energy within your connection that it is connecting with, regardless of whether or not this is a twin flame connection, although that has come up as a strong indicator through many of the cards in this reading and the last reading. But regardless, this is a very intense soul bond, and yet the masculine here, for some reason I hear him saying, I feel left in the dark, I feel abandoned, I feel unsupported. But this may or may not have to do with you specifically, Divine Feminine. I heard the name Peter for someone. This could actually be connecting with an inner child wound coming to the surface within this masculine as he is, through this interaction with you, Divine Feminine, awakening this emotionality within himself that he may have blocked off for a very long time. And in connection with this emotionality may be these inner child wounds. At the bottom of the deck, we have rest and rejuvenation reversed and blossoming abundance reversed. So what this tells me is this masculine is very much feeling as though you, divine feminine, are slipping away, are slipping through his fingers. There is this feeling of urgency, but it's ironic because at the higher self level, there is no time. Time doesn't really exist at the level of energy. And what I feel this masculine's higher self knowing, although he consciously can't yet fully access this knowing, the higher self here is saying, there is no urgency here. There is no possibility for abandonment here on either side, because regardless of how the landscape of this physical 3D love connection might change or evolve over the course of time, what we have here is something highly spiritual, something eternal, something that transcends time. And more significantly, what is occurring through your connection to each other is this powerful realignment, this push to align fully with your highest version of self, which I see taking place for the masculine with this temple path card. The number 1212 might be significant to someone here as well. I also see this potentially being the month of December. For some of you listening, there might be a few months here where it feels as though both of you are a little bit in the dark, a little bit unsure of how this is going to move forward. But if that is the case, I'm hearing that there may be a sudden breakthrough for you in December specifically, or around that season. Now with yin yang coming out here again, I reshuffled the cards and this card came out again. Because this card is coming out so frequently as we are channeling into what this masculine wants to say to you, divine feminine, I feel he is struggling to put into words the depth he feels between the two of you, the depth he feels in this connection. It's like, I want to tell you how profoundly connected I feel to you, but it's so difficult to find the words. And wow, sorry, I just kind of struggled with those words there because I felt hit with this wall of just intense emotion. I feel this masculine actually getting emotional when he's by himself, potentially when he can't sleep at night, because there is that card of sleeplessness coming up here earlier as well. And what this masculine is feeling is, I am sensing that you, divine feminine, may be a little bit closed off or guarded. Now, whether or not this is true, this is just his 3D perspective. Someone here might have curly hair that's coming through. This masculine sees you, divine feminine, as someone who is very powerful, but specifically someone who is very spiritually insightful, intuitive, spiritually powerful, and also someone who is really on their true path in this life, regardless of what, divine feminine, you would consider to be your level of 3D quote unquote success from a physical, human, societal perspective. The beautiful thing about you is you are someone who holds a strong sense of passion and purpose. And this masculine is seeing that passion, seeing that purpose, that authenticity, and realizing that in many ways he himself has been living a lie. With the deceit card coming up here, it's like there's almost a little bit of fear coming up just around the fact that he knows he can't hide anything from you because you are so insightful. I heard the name Kelsey for someone. You are so insightful. You are so intuitive. And with 5th chakra, the throat chakra upright, he knows that whenever he speaks or communicates with you, he has to come to you completely open, completely authentic, because you are so intuitive that you can sense any lack of authenticity within another person, and especially within this masculine, because you are so deeply connected. And although this masculine, that's the word I was looking for, intimidation, this masculine feels in awe of you, divine feminine, but also a little bit intimidated by you because of your insightfulness, because of your intuitiveness. I'm also wanting to say intelligence. So this masculine may see you as someone who is highly intelligent, not just spiritually intelligent, spiritually intuitive, but also for some reason I'm hearing book smart. You might be someone who reads a lot, or just who this masculine considers to be a very intelligent person with happy family uprights. The rainbow symbolism is coming out for someone here. I'm also hearing something about earrings, if that resonates with anyone. I feel this masculine saying, just give me a chance. I just want a chance to be yours, to reunite fully with you, to reconnect with you, to build some kind of a home with you. Because going back to the first reading, this masculine really feels a strong emotional and energetic sense of home in your presence, divine feminine. And I feel him wanting to reflect that sense of home in a physical home of some sort with you, whether this means he wants to build a relationship together, to live together. In some cases, this may literally be buying a home together. And this may have been something that you and this masculine talked about or daydreamed about in the past. I see two people stargazing, if that connects with anyone. With door to romance upright, I see this masculine really wanting to open that door with you, to settle down and commit with you in a way that he hasn't wanted to in the past. He sees you as radiating this pure, unconditional love, with the Angel of Love card coming out here in the upright position. I heard savior complex, so a challenge coming up here may be that this masculine may have a tendency to look to you, divine feminine, as kind of a metaphorical savior, as the one to save him or fix him, which of course just perpetuates dynamics of codependency between the two of you. And this may be part of why you, divine feminine, have felt guided at times to pull back your energy a bit, to protect yourself a bit, why this masculine might perceive you as being guarded. Because for some people listening, I'm getting that quite simply, you are resisting the urge to fall back into old patterns of codependent dynamics with this masculine, because the connection you share spiritually is so special, so deep and profound, that you have this intuitiveness about moving forward. You know intuitively that you don't want to attempt to overlay patterns of codependency with this masculine, because you have such a powerful energetic bond that any negative patterns, dynamics, including codependency, that fall under that umbrella of karmic energy, any of these patterns can really be amplified within highly spiritual connections, which is why for twin flames, for example, we will say that twin flames tend to trigger each other very intensely. It's not that they are intentionally triggering each other, it's that they have such a powerful energetic bond that everything is amplified, both what we consider to be the positive, beneficial patterns and also the detrimental ones. Now, of course, the benefit of highlighting detrimental patterns through intense soul connection, like twin flame connection, is it does bring those patterns to our attention consciously a lot more quickly. But that's all kind of just a side note here. This masculine is someone who is very much taking this connection one day at a time, but that's kind of by force in a sense, because he really has no idea how this is going to pan out. And in fact, I feel anytime he tries to make a plan here or tries to plan out how this is going to unfold, it's almost like the divine blocks his plans, because he is being really taught how to reconnect with his true inner nature, his spiritual nature, not to attempt to control connections in situations so much through the mind. And I'm actually getting this is a shared learning experience. I feel many divine feminines are learning this as well through this connection. This is very mirrored. You may be learning how to live more in the present moment, how to enjoy the unfolding of something without needing to plan out the details. And in fact, you may find even divine feminine when you yourself try to make plans with this person into the future or try to plan out within your own mind how it's going to unfold. You may find that these plans tend to be blocked, or I'm hearing canceled. Someone may have canceled plans or canceled a trip of some kind or something along those lines. But regardless, it's just because you are really being forced into the present moment with this person and forced to trust with patience upright the divine timing, the perfect aligned unfolding of this connection, rather than trying to manipulate or control that timing through the conscious ego-based mind. Now, I'm going to reshuffle the cards here, and we've channeled a lot from what this masculine would like to say to you, divine feminine. So I now want to channel into what your connection really looks like at the 5D level, at the soul level, and then we will talk about the 3D. Okay, so with rest and rejuvenation upright and blossoming abundance upright, what I'm getting is you feel a deep sense of peace with each other, but this sense of peace isn't coincidental. It's actually a sign of the deep spiritual bond you share in the 5D. The reason this masculine would describe you, divine feminine, as feeling like home for him is because of this sense of peace. You don't feel the need to put on any kind of a mask with each other. You don't even really feel the need to fill space with words. I feel that just by being in each other's presence, you both actually tangibly feel more physically and emotionally relaxed. You feel like everything is right in the world. And through that, you experience this deep reconnection with the present moments. With blossoming abundance upright, I also see that energetically speaking, at the 5th dimension level, your connection is relatively new, regardless of how long you've been connecting in the physical world. Time doesn't really matter. This speaks to the fact that you and this person have planted intentions between the two of you that are just beginning to start to sprout and to multiply beneath the surface, but you might not be able to fully visibly see the evidence of these intentions yet. I feel that a lot of how you connect with this person is through the invisible, through words, through feelings, through energy transferred back and forth, through possibly communication, but it feels very much like it's almost like building a secret world between the two of you through this perpetual energy exchange, through potential communication. But you may not be in person with this other being as much as you would like to be in the physical, or many things that you desire to happen may not be visible yet. It feels like ideas. It feels like daydreams almost with this person. And because of this, with hostilities upright, I do see this bringing up some feelings of conflict at times. It's kind of ironic because although I feel you and this person share a very strong sense of peace and relaxation when you're together, I feel at times you might get triggered in the physical where you might need to take time by yourself just to process some of the intensity of the energy, because it sounds almost like a paradox, but you and this person have this deep sense of peace between you, but also a very intense energy exchange constantly occurring between you as well. So there's that combination of peace and intensity at the same time. I heard potential, so you might be in that stage of seeing a lot of potential in each other, in this bond, in this connection with door to value uprights. you both see an immense value and immense potential in each other. But with storm warning upright, it's almost as though anytime you try to then take that feeling of, okay, this has potential, this has value, whenever you try to really bring that into the physical through, again, the conscious ego mind, through planning, through analyzing, through figuring it out, that doesn't really seem to work here. That actually seems to backfire. I also feel that for you, Divine Feminine, at the spiritual level, this is really empowering you to become the highest version of your most awakened, aligned, powerful, Divine Feminine self. And also, I'm getting that there is a lot of emotional energy being exchanged at this time in the 5D between yourself and this person, because we have the sacral chakra coming out here in the upright position. And I'm also getting a lot of this emotional energy may not actually be vocalized or said aloud. It's something that you are feeling through your energy body, through your own emotions, that is just being naturally transferred to you, because the crown chakra is coming up here as well. So now I want to read into the more 3D based side of this connection. So what does the 3D of this connection look like? It's very loving with Angel of Love uprights. I'm hearing you are learning how to ground a truly unconditionally loving connection into a very dense physical world. And this brings up challenges at times. And as I said, challenges, the Thinking Man card came out, which is connected with the ego. Whose ego is getting triggered here? Okay, so I'm picking up that the masculine here at times might become afraid by how much he's opening up and get in his head about it, especially after he expresses his emotions. And then he might kind of close himself off again or pull back. So I feel that to you, Divine Feminine, this could look like him being hot and cold and could be very frustrating, because it's almost like the door is opening and then the door is closing again. It's like this revolving door of connection. But really, it's just this masculine in conflict within himself, with the storm warning upright, really learning how to consistently open and hold himself open emotionally through the sacral chakra. However, this masculine in the 3D does very consciously recognize you, Divine Feminine, as being everything he's ever wanted. And yet again, there is that potential tendency for codependent patterns to come up here, because this masculine is being taught by his own guides to go within himself, to find that healing, to find that inner fulfillment in order to stabilize this connection by first stabilizing and balancing the energy within himself. So that kind of slips into another thing that came up in the first reading about karmic patterns or cycles. And these are two karmic patterns or cycles coming up here. One being this tendency of the masculine to kind of open and close himself emotionally, which leads to frustration on the part of the feminine, and also this tendency to seek outside of himself. I also see this could go both directions. This could be mirrored. So the Divine Feminine here may at times also feel the urge to seek validation from this masculine, or I should say to become reliant on that validation, because I do see that he admires her very much and might be giving her at times attention, validation. And so part of the feminine's lesson here is to continue stepping forward into her own new beginning, to not seek externally for that sense of support, validation, confidence, love, but to actually find that within the self, and through stabilizing that inner self-love, to only then be fully capable of radiating truly unconditional love that exudes outward naturally as a byproduct of her own inner self-love and inner self-reconnection. Man holding a heart in the upright position. So what I see here is the masculine really wanting to open his heart, even though there are these times when he might close down emotionally and then open back up again. It's almost like a desperation here, a desperate longing to open his heart to share a warm, loving, stabilized, mutually committed connection in the physical. However, again, there's that hostilities card. It's funny because what I'm getting is with his masculine, a karmic pattern here may be that anytime you start to get too close, I hear him saying it starts to get too real. I see him starting to close off again because as you'll notice in the progression of the cards, we start to pull all these beautiful cards, man holding a heart, door to romance, upright, the doors are opening, the heart is opening, and then suddenly, boom, we have storm warning, we have the hostilities card, the conflict card. So let's read deeper into this karmic pattern. Why does this masculine get so conflicted whenever his heart really starts to open? Well, first of all, he wants you to know, Divine Feminine, that it doesn't have to do with you. He really admires you and appreciates you so deeply with the appreciation card upright. But with caring connections reversed, I almost feel this masculine may be dealing with self-limiting beliefs about not being capable of maintaining or sustaining a truly caring connection with someone, or alternatively, not being worthy of this kind of care and connection, not really being worthy of love. I feel that someone here, and it could be the masculine or feminine, but someone here has a karmic pattern of being more comfortable giving love than receiving love. And so they might keep themselves in situations where they are giving and giving and giving, but not receiving very much in return. And with woman holding a coin upright, yeah, this is absolutely a karmic pattern coming up here. In the past, this person may have even stayed in situations where the other wasn't fully committing to them, was pursuing other options. They may have denied their own intuition about this. And this is a person who is resisting moving forward into the next stage of their healing and of their life because of this karmic cycle, again, of feeling more worthy of giving love than receiving love. But with rest and rejuvenation upright, I see that through really focusing on caring for themselves, their physical body, resting, nourishing themselves, clearing their energy, their intuition is going to become more clear to them on how to move forward and specifically what to walk away from in order to get to that new beginning. But in the meantime, this is still a karmic pattern coming up for this person that I feel is reflected by the other party here, who may also run away when the other person starts to give to them because they feel more worthy when they are in the giving role as opposed to the receiving role. I know that this was a bit of a complex message here coming through, but I hope that for whoever that was for, that provided a bit of insight. I feel those are the main karmic patterns and cycles potentially coming up right now for these two highly spiritually connected individuals. Now, I want to go ahead and see if I can channel any more messages coming through for this reading. So, what else do these two souls need to know here? The masculine is awakening with man holding a coin upright. Also, if the masculine in your situation was struggling when it came to life purpose, career, work, I do see this gradually stabilizing and balancing out for him over the course of time. Door to value in the upright position. I'm getting a lot of power couple energy from the potential future of this connection. I feel that you could really empower each other to be your best version of self, but also to really manifest a lot into your life, especially when it comes to abundance and work, finances. I feel that you and this person may eventually be involved in a joint endeavor. You may work together or start some kind of a business together. But just in general, I see this strong energy of mutual generosity, mutual support, creating a kind of force field of energy around the two of you that moving into the future, if you do choose to fully be together, I see that this could attract in a lot of abundant experiences. I'm also hearing something about traveling together for someone listening. I'm I'm getting with door to spirit in the midway position that as you both are in the middle of the way in which this spiritual connection is activating you, there are going to be times where these heavier energies come to the surface for healing with the anxiety card up right here. But all of this ultimately is for the purpose of your expansion with the world card here. Resist the urge to try to overcompensate for these negative feelings coming up with action, with pushing or overworking yourself or trying to put some kind of a band-aid on it, but rather allow these heavy emotions and feelings to be felt, to be processed through, to be acknowledged and fully released, remembering that anything we feel and let go, we can then release from our being, whereas unfelt emotions tend to remain stuck in our vibration. And I feel that being a message both to the masculine and the feminine here. But I do see overall within this connection a very powerful mutual awakening taking place that is the resulting in the expansion for both involved involved here. And it's a really beautiful thing. So I am now going to pull one final card from the Rumi Oracle, and this is I Surge on the Uprising Wave of Love. And I'm just going to read a little bit from the guidebook here. I surge on the uprising wave of love. No gravity can stop me from rising. The moon pulls the tide of life towards her, and my soul, in oneness with all of life, answers her call. A wave of love consumes me, and upwards I fly, led by my hearts. My wits are addled, and my mind becomes a blurry mess, and so I feel instead, feel the truth of her love, and the divine reflection she shines back at me from her radiant heart. And the guidebook also says, what we always have at our disposal is choice as to how we respond to these affecting movements and cycles. The effect of this karmic cycle now unfolding in your life is to bring you into sweet surrender and awakening into greater love. What a delicious divine destiny. However, even if we sense at one level that a shift has a positive end in store for us, we can encounter resistance and fear born of the ego in response to the stirring of spiritual uprising. The disorder, however, is the ego perspective because its range of vision is too small, too limited to comprehend the greater workings of the planetary systems that move life towards love. Your heart is more powerful than your fear, and it wants to live in total trusting surrender of the unfoldment of life's genius. So that feels like a really beautiful place to close this reading. I really hope something from this reading connected with you personally, and if so, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, I am wishing you the most beautiful, magical rest of your day, and I will talk to you again in Wednesday's extended reading.